Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coin Geek Weekly live stream. That is 3 episodes in a row that I've said the name of the show correctly from the get-go. I'm gonna have to put it in my bonus check proposal, which should be coming any moment now. Before we get started, anywhere else? First of all, I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. If you didn't know, I'm sorry that I look and sound the way I do, but it is what you get, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to give a shout out to the lovely and delightful Alex Moon, my executive producer, frankly, the man that makes this show possible. He had a really rough 5 days in Thai prison, but due to the price pumping, we were able to put some money together and bail him out. Now, he hadn't eaten in a couple of days, and the black eyes and all of that. He wasn't in great shape, but we think after a few years of therapy, he's going to be okay. But he's back on the soundboard today. He's got his headphones on. He's behind the mixing board, doing all the stuff that makes this show possible. Putting in the proof of work on his exercise bike, because we mine all of our own electricity. So the Coin Geek Weekly live stream is also run entirely on green energy. That may or may not be true. I don't even know. But I just realized my VPN is on, and I'm technically broadcasting out of Canada at the moment. So hopefully we don't have any issues with the frame rate or anything like that. But I think if I shut it off, it might make me disappear. So I'm going to rock and roll the way I rock and roll, unless there's a problem, in which case maybe we'll take a minor moment to reload the stream. I also want to give a shout out to my wife, who just took the kid out for a walk. Ronan was not cooperating in the quiet front today, but I said goodbye. They're going for a nice walk because it's about 80 degrees in Chicago today, which is wonderful. It's a good time to go out and play. So anyways, I also want to thank our sponsors. Very typically the Mr. Satoshi, who gives away paper wallets on every single episode. So please get your wallets ready. FreeBSV.com has been very kind to give away free BSV on every single episode. So have your Simply Cash or Relay X wallets ready to claim the BSV when it pops on the screen. There it is. It's right there. Boom. I bet you weren't expecting it right as I said it, but Alex just gets me. It's incredible. So we'll take a moment here to calm a couple of things down. Twetch did not buy CoinGeek. We were talking about that on April Fool's because that was an April Fool's joke. However, the whole Elon Musk thing, we're going to have to tell you that whole story someday, but there was some wild stuff going on in the background. But I want to give a personal shout out to my friend Josh Petty. Josh really did come in clutch right at the last moment, saved the day, and he had to step away from a family party to be able to do it. So double thank you to the frog, Mr. Elon Moist, Coin Yeezy on Twitter. He really helped out. He did not buy CoinGeek. He's not my new boss. Alex and I still work for CoinGeek, which is part of some giant empire owned by some guy who gets cool haircuts every once in a while. But yeah, long story short, that part was a joke, but we're going to tell the Elon Musk story eventually. We may even publish it as a tell-all memoir upon my retirement, which will be in about 50 years. So congratulations to everybody. We'll issue it as an NFT, probably. Also, I want to give a shout out just from the news standpoint as people's questions fill in. So now that we got people watching the show, please send this video around, post it to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and wherever else you have social. Tell people that this show is live. We're doing live question and answer today because this is an Ask Me Anything episode. So you get to talk to this guy, Kurt, for free. You get an hour of my time, which is worth, I charge $10,000 an hour for consultation. So you can ask your questions for free as long as you get them on the live stream. But please subscribe, ring the bell thing, do the Twitter thing, the YouTube thing. I'm a YouTuber now, so I should learn to do this properly. But please subscribe. Let your friends know the show is live because the show is much more fun when people do the live stuff. I want to give a shout out to check out Mito.cash. That's MITTO.cash. It is a new project by the enigmatic Satoshi. which is a really convenient way for you to send a link to other people. You can give them any amount of BSV that you want. It uses HandCash Connect. And as you claim the money, it downloads the HandCash wallet and gives them the money you sent them. So a brand new, really cool onboarding tool called Mito.cash. That's MITTO.cash. Really cool tool there. And you can also check out Brightview. I want to give a shout out to someone who I was a fan of for quite some time. So going back a few years, we had the BCH Boys, the Beach Boys show, run by Connor Murray. And I always forget his co-host's name because I haven't talked to him in so long. Shoot. But Connor did that show for a long time. It became the Bitcoin and Beyond podcast for a while. But the show was a big inspiration to me. It's part of the reason why I ended up in the BSV community in the first place. But Connor's business that he started with his brother Dylan just launched, I believe, in beta, or it's been in beta for a long time. But Brightview, so the Brightview app has launched today or yesterday, or maybe even the day before. But I've been testing it a bit. Not a whole lot of bugs, but bug here and there to be expected. But it works really well. So I want to give a shout out to Connor Murray. Please give your hopes and prayers and everything else to Connor Murray. But Brightview seems like a really cool project. I'm really excited about it. Also interested on maybe popping on to be a guest. Send a DM to Alex Moon. He is at Alex_Moon89 on Twitter. If you got something really interesting to talk about, we can put you in a 5-minute or a 10-minute slot right here on the show. You just got to work it out with him on the back end. His DMs are open, so don't be afraid to reach out and say, yo, Alex, what's up? So, Alex, let's queue up. Oh, I just realized my private chat was covered with my notes, so that's good. So let's start bringing up some questions. Let's talk about some stuff. I got DSP here saying, hey, April Fool's is over. Yes, but my sense of humor never shuts off. I don't know. I'm only quiet when I'm sleeping. So let's fire away some questions. We got Thrills saying, when Moon, when Lambo? It's a good question. Actually, we have fired away a whole bunch of really good information. And doing the CoinGeek Weekly live stream has pumped the price of BSV from below $200 when the show started up to, I think we hit $277 today. So you're welcome for giving you all the fundamental mojo necessary to push the green candles up to what they need to be. But frankly, I'm not going to be excited until we replace BTC entirely. I think we're going to do it just fine. Oh, I see. I got a real special guest just joined the green room. So this is going to be a spicy one. I have a feeling. Bitcoin Becky Legero saying, hi, everybody. Kurt Wuckert Jr. What happened to the Hawaiian shirt? So I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt earlier. We got mixed reviews on the Hawaiian shirt. And frankly, it was oversaturated on camera. So I decided to switch to my custom Satoshi Vision t-shirt, which I actually made myself, which is a little weird, but is what it is. I got Joey Ferguson saying, do you take payment in tendies or eggs? I am willing to accept payment in tendies and eggs. I don't know exactly the conversion rate on either, but I am a hungry man, and I'm actually pretty easy to bribe with food. Carbon Craft saying, when Shua Moon, and are things happening with Shua? So this is an interesting question. Shua being the most important project to ever debut on BSV, maybe, I don't know. I don't think development will ever be done. I actually asked Josh this morning, is the Shua protocol set in stone now, Josh? And he just kind of grinned and chuckled at me. So I don't know what that means. It was like a Craigism. You got to read the tea leaves and hang on for dear life, unfortunately. Mr. Weather King saying, what was the first NFT on BSV? Was it the Twetch hat or the top Satoshi Nakamoto card? I think it was the Twetch hat, but NFT, it's funny. I've talked about this for a little bit. I've actually been saying for quite some time that technically every Twetch is itself an NFT. It is a unique idea shared on chain forever. It is hashed. It has its own Bitcoin hash and proves that an idea was an original thought at a given time. And if your ideas are art, then each Twetch is an NFT. But I guess that's a little too ethereal for some people. Got Bitcoin Becky saying, can you walk us through a different token platforms available on BSV at the moment? And what is the difference between them? Where are you seeing the most activity and why? maybe we should bring on our special guest. Surprise! It is hey, Mr. Billy Rose, Randy from Twetch. What is your title? Are you CFO, CTO, C something all over?
I am
Twetch,
Chief Meme Officer at Twetch.
Meme Officer. Fascinating.
Yep.
So, all right, we're talking about NFTs. We're talking about attendees and eggs. How did that get started? I mean, I know the history of 4chan and attendees and all of that, but why attendees? Why hats? Why eggs? Give us a look behind the curtain. What the hell is going on with these NFTs?
Okay, well, the hats thing was really just NFTs are blowing up, and we knew we could do it better. We could do low fees. We could have them fully on chain, and we could start to push the envelope. We've done NFTs before on Ethereum, so we have experience in the space. We know how it goes, and so we kind of knew how we wanted to do it and how we didn't want to do it. And the hats was kind of like, hey, the one thing out of the NFT space that we're seeing that's really interesting is when the artwork is somehow attached to a physical piece. Now, this was done at Ethereum when they auctioned off that $200,000 crypto kitty, way back in 2017, 2018. That was like the first kind of time you've ever seen that. And then Beeple's first sale, it had like, the visual screen that had the thing. And then you also got the IPFS, whatever, the Ethereum NFTs, they're a joke. So we've been memeing the shit out of that. But anyway, so the hat thing was, hey, how can we make this hat special? How can we make it a collectible? How can we create something that opens up the market for potential future profit for collectors and Twetch users? Because really, that's our goal. Our goal is to have customer profits, not just business profits, but also secondary and tertiary profits. So the NFT and the limited edition stuff, like if you look at Supreme or Kith, these really big apparel, kind of niche but big apparel companies. What they do great is they do limited edition releases, and you see this across all collectible items from trading cards to whatever.
Sure.
And so that was the hat idea. We said, hey, we'll issue the hat and we can issue an NFT along with it. Now, the concept of that is interesting. It does play on the hype of NFTs a lot, but it is really cool to have your token associated with your physical item. You can imagine, if somebody sold a car or somebody sold their house, and it came with an NFT, that might drive up the value just a little bit, and it would, you know what I mean? It's just a fun thing. But the 3D tendies and the eggs, I think those are a little bit kind of higher tier, just because they're instantly integratable into like a video game. You can actually take that 3D item and you can put it in a game right now. And you can also, we saw one of our users 3D printing our egg.
I saw that. Yeah, that's like super badass. Now I want my egg 3D printed and serialized. But okay, so you said games, like integrating into games, like right now, today, is there somebody doing that? Like I've not seen exactly how that works.
No, right now we just have digital items that you can own.
Yeah.
But the future of it is definitely that.
Okay. So I had a theory. I know you guys work with Attila. I know you guys are related in more than one way with Matterpool and some of that. Is this the super asset protocol, or how were these actually issued?
No,
totally different.
This is Twonk's protocol.
Okay.
Yeah, we have our own special protocol. I believe documentation is being built, but okay. There were reasons why we had to create our own.
Okay.
And a lot of it had to do with the initial sale and invoicing and making sure that if an item got purchased, that somebody else couldn't also purchase that item.
Okay.
Within the same, second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to be instant.
Right.
And BSV enables that. Our people, they wrote a pretty simple script, I think, and we got it done. It was really exciting. The hat thing was really, really exciting. And then once we had that, everyone was like, what's going on with the Twetch market? How can we make this real? When really we had just created Twetch.app/market was originally just a landing page to buy the hat. And it within an hour, we were like, oh yeah, this is the market now. And so that people started reselling on there, and now we have the whole market going, and we're updating it. We've added filters and sorts, and we're going to add search soon. So that stuff is really exciting, and it's all scaling and moving really fast. Twetch, we almost broke Twetch like twice yesterday. And people are joining like crazy. I mean, after we released the hats, it was like, well, what do we do next? And I had a list, of like 25 ideas. But the one thing that I really wanted to do, and the frog, Josh, he picked up on it as well, was the airdrop of the egg. The Tendy kind of came about as a joke for April Fool's Day.
Sure.
And we were like, what should we do for April Fool's? This was the day before. So March 31st. Oh, April Fool's, it's all played out. Everything's been done a million times. Yeah. And then something happened where I think Aaron, he just made the 3D Tendy. And we were like, Tendies. And then it was like, yeah. This is really how it happened. It was supposed to be a joke. But once we had the Tendy, we were like, hey, this can easily be a real thing. We had already been planning to do the egg on Sunday, and we'd been working up to that. But we felt like we had to do something funny for April Fools. And so Josh wrote that really funny blog, and we just pumped it and went crazy. It was awesome.
It is awesome. Well, I mean, that was the thing. I read the blog and I'm like, that sounds like a joke, but who knows? Maybe it'll actually come on, So when I talked to Josh last week, I was like, hey man, I don't know if that's real or not. And so he actually announced it, I believe live on the stream was the first time he said, no, the Tendies are real. They're coming.
Yeah. Tendy.
Like, oh man. Like, that's awesome.
It's totally supposed to be a joke and became real and turned out to be the greatest thing ever. I think Tendy current price is like $420. So, people who got their Tendies, man, they made money.
Almost doubled in value. Yeah, it's excellent. We got a question here from Patrick saying, what do you think are some of the best use cases for NFTs? I think we've seen a lot of things that are possible and people are getting airdrops. All of a sudden, everyone's got tokens, but like, what's the big thing? What's coming that everybody's ignoring right now?
Well, the first thing that we had to do was we had to have the technology that worked, to do any of this stuff. I mean, let me tell you, Ethereum really does not work. It does not work, and it's not real. It's all, it's completely fake news. You might as well. There's no difference from having an NFT on Ethereum than having an NFT on a centralized ledger, issued by the company.
I mean, most of them, I think people don't realize this, that they're sitting on AWS, which is not immutable. Like, you have a hash, you have proof that you sent an Ethereum transaction, but the thing you bought can just be deleted. You can be canceled with Ethereum NFTs.
It's not only is it not on the blockchain, it's not even in the transaction. They hashed it off chain, and then they use that. They put that hash as the data that goes on the blockchain, which doesn't. It has. I mean, I don't know if there's even a way to get back to the original. You know what I mean? From IPFS, I don't know. Yeah. But it just doesn't feel. So with the egg, you can actually go on the blockchain, just like this guy did that created the 3D printable version of it. Right. And there it is. There's the WebGL 3D file where you can use, and it exists there, and there's proof of ownership from wherever it goes from there. So
yeah, no, it's badass. We got Arcade Rob asking here: is someone working on an open NFT market on BSV, like Rarible, OpenSea? It seems like, so now we've got like the Relay X Rex, and we got the Twetch market. Yeah, I think, and now we've all kind of got mixed protocols, and at some point, I feel like we're all going to have to shake hands and agree that one's the direction to go. When does that happen? Who kills who?
Look, the first thing I want to say is, yes, we want artists to be able to sell their art without any problems or middlemen or whatever else. But we have to be careful. We have to do it slowly. We have to take our time, because people are going to take advantage of this thing. People are going to sell all kinds of stuff that's against our terms of service, like, a dick pic or whatever. We can't have it. We can't just have it be like free for all. It has to be. So right now, the way that we're doing is we're accepting applications, and we plan to have featured artists, and we plan to move forward with it. At some point, there will be a lot of artists on Twetch, and there will be a lot of different art that's not just created by Twetch. But yeah, so yes, in the future there will be a marketplace where artists can come to Twetch and create their own tokenized art.
Nice.
But we want it to be innovative. If you have one thing that I'm interested in is seeing, so a lot of people have sold artwork on Twitch, like paintings.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to see, an NFT along with that painting, where you have like your digital version of it, and then you have the real one, and it's a one of one, both ways. I think that that's something that we could do quickly. These are the kinds of things that already exist. Some kind of physical association or something beyond just like, I have this thing. Although there is value in that as well. I mean, I have a whole binder full of sports cards. What tell me what the difference is between my ownership of that card, where I can say, hey, check this out. And I open my phone and I show you my rare hat and I say, hey, check this out.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. It's the same thing. I got to ask, it seems like all of a sudden, maybe 6 months ago, you and the other guys from Twitch started sharing like Flesh and Blood cards and Pokemon and other stuff. And I wasn't sure initially, actually, if you guys were kidding or not, if you guys were just pulling up other pictures, or have you guys been collectors for a long time? Is this an old passion that's bubbled back up, or what's that?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So, back in the day, I had a really amazing Pokemon collection. When I was in college, my mother gave it away. I mean, don't
go to college, man. You'll lose your Pokemon card.
I had multiple cards. I mean, my brother in my collection was, I'm estimating, but it was at least $20,000 of cards. So when this came back, it was like, at first I was like, I was mad. I was like, I'm never doing this again, because I had it. I had the jackpot. But Josh started getting into it, and when I saw all his cards, I was like, okay, this is still really, really cool. And then we did the Pokemon thing for a while. And then Josh found Flesh and Blood, and we studied it. We learned about Flesh and Blood. We fell in love with that game. And then I got really into sports cards. I met a guy on Twetch who has access to retail prices on sports cards, which you can't get anymore. Walmart's just like cleared out as you go to the trading card section, like right now.
Interesting.
So I just was like, hey, if I can buy it with BSV, I'll buy a shit ton of it. I love So, and I love creating economies on Twetch. I buy things on Twetch all the time because it's like, it feels like, I want the economy on Twetch to thrive, of course. So,
sure.
But yeah, we got into the trading card stuff, and we did really well. We were buying and selling and trading and having a lot of fun. And now at this point, like, we've kind of, the hype has kind of died down a little bit. We've made our money, and now we have nice collections as well, which is really cool. Fun. And a lot of it was market research for Twetch collectibles. That's what it was.
Well, sure. Well, and then I think that's what's so interesting is it kind of segues into that is like, first you guys created this culture, and like I was very early. I think I joined Twetch the week or two, 2 weeks after it launched, because it was like, hey, this is cool. I like this idea. I like to point out I'm also the number 5 most followed person on Twetch now, so I passed up River. Sorry, River. I know you were ahead of me for most of the most of reality.
I think I dropped down the leaderboard.
I think you got passed by Zatoshi.
Yeah, Zatoshi. Yeah. I actually just had a phone call with Zatoshi. We're going to be cooking up some fun stuff.
Nice. I like it. So, so from there, like, you created this culture, and I think that's the first thing you have to do. And that's the thing. I think the first thing you guys really deserve a lot of credit for is this sort of visionary, like, hey, I know people are going to criticize us for making you basically do a pay to play Twitter, but we're going to build a culture. And now you've got over 40,000 people using Twetch. You've got vibrant communities of people that are kind of creating their own cliques and creating their own markets. And like, I feel like this is hockey sticking, actually. I think the amount of people that are joining on a regular basis is increasing. Like, the rate of people joining seems to be increasing. And then you've got this culture.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, like, the economies that are growing up out of that are organic. And now it becomes that much cooler to be someone who got an egg or somebody that has tendies. We got a question here from DSP28. Do you guys plan on use cases for tendies and eggs in the future? Like, are they going to integrate with other things that you guys have coming up? Or what's
we have a ton of ideas. Our main goal, our primary goal is customer profits. That means you guys making money by using Twetch. Just keep that in mind. We don't do a lot of pre-talk. We do, when it's live, we promote it. So the answer is yes. We want everything to be as cool and as futuristic and as innovative and as just pushing everything forward as possible. Especially, I mean, and we have to be, because the whole crypto world is ignoring us. They're trying to. And so the only way to breach that door and to stick our foot in there is to do stuff that no one else is doing. So yes, the answer is yes.
Awesome. We got Tommy here saying, Randy, what's the time horizon for Twetch to come out of beta, and what's the plan to reduce fees to use Twetch at a certain user base number? Or is it a question? Is it going to be at a certain user base number? When can fees be reduced?
So Twetch is not in beta. I mean, if you go to twetch.com, our welcome page says sign up and join now. You know, it's not in beta, but we're not opening it up to where anyone on the internet can see your posts, because it's not our stuff. It's your stuff. You know, eventually maybe you can decide, or you can, you know, people can already figure it out. They can screenshot their own stuff and they can repost it. But and then the other question was reduced fees. Look, we want to reduce fees. We want video. We want images to be cheap. So we're all on the same page there. We've got a laundry list of stuff to do, and we're just happy that it's all kind of coming together. I mean, really, right now, it feels like we've reached a threshold of like, this is real. This is very, very real. And like, you know, our time horizon has just broadened, like very recent. And growth is happening, and you know, we're reaching new thresholds of growth as well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I think at some point over the last 3 to 6 months, it really does feel like it went from like, hey, this is a cool idea, to all of a sudden it's like, Twetch is the place to be. Like, there's so much going on there that regardless of where you
last night I was going nuts. I couldn't believe it. It was like, you know, we still don't have like real-time data and all the stuff that we really want. But every time you refresh that feed last night, it was just pumping post. And I was just like, I was seeing all kinds of people that I had never seen before. And this is, I mean, this was the idea around only giving the eggs to people who use Twetch. Hey, you don't use Twetch, you know, what are you doing?
Right. No, it's awesome. We got a question here. Joey Ferguson. I don't know if this is precipitated by something he's experienced, but he's asking, how did you guys come up with your terms of service?
Our terms of service are very simple. No NSFW, right? No dick pics, no naked people, whatever the case may be. That's it. That's our rules. And you know, as far as like data ownership and all of that stuff, look, we're not selling anything on the back end, and we are hoping to give users more and more and more control of their data as we grow.
It's awesome. No, you guys are doing a good job. I can't express how much of a fan I am. We got a question here from Richard saying, I'm confused. Some of the NFTs that have gone up lots seem to have no function. Is that legal? Is it, let's see, risk that newcomers will buy the top and get wrecked? How are these NFTs different from everybody else's shit coins?
Well, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but if I don't see any difference between NFTs that we're creating and trading cards. So that's what it is. It's a collectible item that lives digitally.
Yep. We got one more here. WW Ocean. What about the problem of diluting the value of NFTs by issuing too many tokens? Do you think we're going to get too flooded and it's going to become passe, or what do you think?
Well, each of them has its own supply cap. And yeah, it's a good question. We'll have to find out with experience. I think a lot of people, including myself, are betting on the concept that over time, the earliest of the digital collectibles will be the most valuable, just because it's like first edition or whatever,
Sure.
But it is a good question. I mean, if you got 1,000 different kinds of items, like Rarible, you go to Rarible, how do you know what to buy? You don't know what's good and what's not good. There's no way to know. The only way to know is based on the artist. And I would say probably the Twetch stuff is a safe bet, but I don't want to say that, you know what I mean? I don't want to say that, but that's my personal.
Sure.
Bet.
I think it's important, and I think you guys have expressed this really well. It's like, it's important to have fun. And I think a lot of these other projects, especially in Ethereum, I think they pretend to have fun, but it's actually really cutthroat. I think these people are here to make big money fast and make an exit. Like, I think that's pretty clear across most of the crypto sphere, which is why everybody's focused on price. And, and there are exceptions. There are certainly people that do take the art seriously and stuff too. But I think that what makes BSV special is people are generally in for like the long term. We've got big goals, but then Twetch culture, I think, is really healthy in that it's like, hey, we're doing big business. We talk very seriously about business, but then also we have fun with it. Like, we're joking. Like, the nature of our business is sort of the nature of fun. Like, it doesn't work unless we enjoy spending time together. So I think that's sharp.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do think that the NFT, I think you hit the Ethereum stuff on the head. And our whole thing is like, look, if you don't want to buy something, don't buy it. Like, what? But with Ethereum and I think that it's just the culture of cryptocurrency is that it's like you buy something with the expectation of the number going up because that's all it's ever done. Like, that's all there is no other thing that it can do. It either goes up or goes down. And that's kind of the nature of the whole culture. Even if you look at farming and the dividends and the interests and all that stuff, it's all the same. It's all about money. And Twetch is a world of money that's all about business and memes and having fun and engaging and being a part of an economy. It's a lot different. It's like the difference between like being a part of society and then just like owning a stock. It's like a whole different thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Got Patrick asking, do you think digital art is the best use case for NFT, or do you think they're going to find a real market fit somewhere else?
The future of NFTs is digital items. It's items that you can own digitally. If there's wow, you really threw this ad up right in my face. Look, you can look if you've ever seen Ready Player One, it's a virtual reality universe where people engage in business. Most of their livelihood happens in this world, and they own property and all of this stuff, and they build businesses and they build items that people can purchase from them, and then they're better at the game. That's the world that we're talking about. We're talking about like digital property ownership in a virtual world. And a lot another thing that's really interesting that you can think about digital tokens is AR as well, not just VR but also AR.
Nice. I like it. Got Thrills asking, what about utility for the NFTs? Are you going to be the first company to offer utility to NFTs where they do something big and surprising? I'm
there
guessing
are ideas,
question.
They could be like, there could be interest earned on the ownership of an NFT. There could be like you could get free Twetch posts and likes and whatever else. Well, we're thinking about it. But for now, it's really just like we're having fun. We're experimenting and we're in the prototype phase. It's obvious that NFTs are extremely popular and fun for people. Yeah. And so that's all it is right now.
I got a question here from RM Hogue or Hugh or something, but I'm going to actually add to it saying, what's with the reflection on the egg? But I got to ask, who made the egg physically and who photographed it? And what did that process look like?
Well, it was never photographed. It's a completely 3D digital item. I think the programs are like Blender and Web. I think it's all code. It's like WebGL.
Oh, okay. So there was not a physical egg that was like scanned or anything like that to make the 3D image?
No, there's just Aaron, our one of our co-founders, is just he just knows how to do a lot of stuff, and he knows a lot about futuristic technologies. I mean, this guy's amazing.
I forgot. I remember having a conversation with Aaron about he was talking about like wireframe and digital animation, and he blew my mind because I've worked in like a little bit of that.
He's always pushing us. He's always pushing us forward. He knows what all the new products that are the good ones and the bad ones, and he knows the difference and what it all means. I mean, he's really ahead of the curve on a lot of things, and he was ahead of the curve on Bitcoin, and before that it was whatever else he was doing. I mean, this guy's really he's that guy.
Yeah, he really is. No, that's awesome. Here's a good question. When more than 256 characters, we want to say more.
Oh my God, I've been talking about this for years. Yeah, obviously, yes, I know we've got a lot on our plate. That's all.
No, for sure. It was from Josh. A serious question, Randy. What do you think about AMC? I need a brainiac opinion.
Is he talking about the stonk?
He must be.
Oh, this is that was Oh No It's Face. That's Oh No It's Face.
Yeah, no, we get good questions from him every week where I'm not sure if he wants to know or if he's just screwing with us.
Do I think movie theaters are coming back? I hope so. I like the movies.
Yeah.
But you know what I thought would be cool if we did on here was if we talked about the chart, because you haven't. You're a chartist, and I haven't seen any Kurt Wuckert charts in a long time. And I was looking at the BSV BTC chart, which looks like nice. We're in a nice little spot here. And I was looking at the monthly chart, and we've got 4 green monthly candles in a row on BSV, which has never happened before. And we haven't broken all-time highs yet. So I'm very excited about what these tea leaves are telling me these days.
Alex, maybe we can make this work. I just sent you a trading view link because I was looking at the chart earlier. Maybe we can do a practice screen share and see if we can talk about the chart live on the air. We'll do some mad money CoinGeek Weekly live stream style. He says I can share it. How does Kurt share it? Let's do a little bit of live editing here. Screen share. Share screen. Hopefully I don't share anything crazy. Chrome tab. Let's try this one. Aha! We've done it. All right.
Got it?
Got it. So we can take a gander here. This is the entire history of BSV USD.
250 looks like nothing in the full history.
Absolutely. So here's what I've done here. Right now I'm looking at stochastic RSI, which is a momentum indicator. And every time the blue line crosses up above hard on the red line, we get these big candles. So I marked it. Well, we just did that again on March 15th, which was the buy zone. We touched this line at like $179. That was the buy zone. Now from there, obviously we got a long way to go. It's not considered overbought until we get above this purple zone here, which is like 80 in the RSI. Now, I know we don't typically talk price and all of that on in CoinGeek universe and BSV, so I don't expect everyone to be an analyst. But what that indicates, or what it should indicate, is that we're about to start to make our way back up to the top of this channel, which would put us in the 750 to 850 zone.
Can you show the monthly chart?
What are we looking at here? Weekly? Yeah, let's go to monthly.
So if you look at the monthly and of all time, I mean, all the previous pumps were 1 month, boom, right? And it comes pretty much back down to create higher lows. This time, however, look at that nice little curve we're starting to get. We've got 4 green monthly candles, which is, I mean, to me, it's only a matter of time before we see another one of those big boys over there.
Well, and each candle body is bigger than the last too. So it indicates increasing momentum, which you also see here on the monthly stochastic RSI. Is that's why the blue line is getting further away from the red line, is it's showing that the momentum is turning and even still turning increasingly bullish. So
and
we've
then
been patient.
Go to the BSV BTC. Sorry, I was just like, I was into this today.
No problem. Well, let me see if I can.
I always reach out to you when I'm doing my chart stuff.
That's true. Maybe this will be a new staple of the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. Alex, am I going to get fired here? If you can cut me off the air if I'm not supposed to be talking price. BTC. Chart. Take a gander. Interesting. Old show notes.
Look at that. Look at that nice little U-turn we're getting on this BSV BTC. I mean, we do have a long way to go. If you go to the previous times when we had bottomed out, it did do this similar thing where it U-turned, right?
Yep.
But we've never had such a long way to go to catch up in USD terms to BTC.
No, for sure. Well, and that's the huge opportunity too. So
yeah, I often say to my friends and family that this is the greatest investment opportunity in the history of mankind, is Bitcoin SV.
Yep. No, I agree completely. And you know, it's funny because like as a chart analyst, you know, you can talk charts all day, but fundamentally, I mean, we're the only people that are making long-term plans and executing them. It's just not happening anywhere else. So like I have a prediction that I haven't said publicly, but what I think is going to happen is that the rest of the crypto blockchain market, hey, everybody get that free BSV, snapshot it. So what I think is going to happen is everything else is going to enter the bear market. I think BTC is going to start to just downtrend, Ethereum, all these things. They've had huge runs, but BSV is going to continue its slow, steady climb. And at some point, amid the next bear market, BSV is going to crisscross and take back tons and tons and tons of market share. And that's if there's no like black swan event or no big, you know, some big thing that changes everything. But, you know, all these like coming soon things that have become the big meme here in BSV, most of them are actually big things that are being worked on behind the scenes. And as those continue to roll out,
a lot of it was like lawsuits. It's the most boring thing in the history of mankind.
Yes. But there's also big business stuff. You know, you get Calvin, for example, has been talking about like Fabric for, you know, he's been saying Fabric for 9 months across Twitter. Fabric's going to change this. And I think people don't think they exist. They don't think it's real. And like when their stuff rolls out, then all of a sudden there's big institutional opportunity for BSV and then other things like that. So it's I think things are going to continue to roll out. The fundamentals are going to continue to get stronger, but I really think that that's the big thing. I think that amid the next bear market, BSV takes back tons and tons of market share from everybody that was just based on hype. And then I could continue to follow that trend just like sound money should.
You know, the thing about the slow, sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
The thing about the slow roll up is that my developer Harry said that to me the other day as well. He was like, let's just keep having it go up nice and slow and steady wins the race, you know? But is that Bitcoin? You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think what we see, by the way, this is a painting that I got on set. Nice. No, yeah. What we see generally in Bitcoin is huge hype phases.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but the fact that there's now utility, it changes the floor. I don't think it changes the hype cycles. I think it changes kind of like when people see BSV and realize what it is. It's like the revelation that you had in 2010 or whatever, the first time you read the white paper. It was like, oh, you know, this is real. And it's going to be something that is very prevalent in our lives in the future. As opposed to, you know, hey, I checked my wallet today. You know, what is that?
Right.
What is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting, it's a curious bit of humanity, I guess. You know, where you,
Just think about BSV people. We're not like overly obsessed with the price of the coin and worried about every day if it goes up or goes down. It's like, it doesn't even matter. The Bitcoin exists. Bitcoin
right.
exists.
Yeah.
So get as much of it as you can,
Yeah.
you know, and just like engage in the economy that's being built on it, because it only knows growth. It's like government, you know, government only knows how to grow, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, it's something like oil. And I've told people a couple of times, I think I've actually talked about this with Daniel Krawitz too. Like, hey, this is like, we're the only people, or there's like a few thousand of us that know that oil is going to be the most important part of the economy. And we're living in like the year 1800.
Mm-hmm.
So the few of us that know are trying to buy up all the land that has all the oil. Mm-hmm. Maybe because we don't even get to benefit in the biggest way from it, but we know that like our kids, our grandkids, and everybody else is going to own the thing that creates the economic opportunity for the next, you know, several generations down. And I really believe that that's what BSV is. It's fuel. It is fuel for the new data economy.
Did you know that gasoline was actually a throwaway product of oil back, you know, in the Rockefeller days? And then Rockefeller himself actually was like, I can't believe we're throwing away this refined part of oil. What can it be used for? And then he figured it out. You know, and now gasoline is the oil product, you know?
Yeah.
So
no,
it's kind of it's a little bit of a similar analogy.
Yeah.
There.
Well, and that's the thing. If demand for Twetch and demand for, you know, all these other things, all of these great ideas, and we've had a bunch of stuff debuted on this show. Like, as demand for each of those things goes up, then demand for BSV goes up. So like right now, you know, Twetch has 40,000 users, but how much is BSV going to be worth when Twetch has 4 million users who want to continue to interact with their community and their businesses and their friends? Like, that's
the business model, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We got Richard here saying, why does BSV have a culture of not being interested in price? The Emperor, who's Daniel Krawitz, taught us how important it is. What do you think, Billy? Where did that start?
It's not, I mean, look, first of all, no, we are interested in price. That's why we were just looking at the charts and we love it and it's fun. But it's a secondary part of the thing. What we're doing here is we're trying to build a real economy that can give individuals ownership and the right to choose how to and how not to use their own money and control and preserve their own wealth. And so, yeah, the primary goal is to build an economy, and the secondary kind of effect of that becomes price increase, which is obviously fun. The earlier you get in, the more wealth you get to preserve over time.
No, absolutely. I think, do you have any closing thoughts? Does anybody deserve a shout out? I want to, you know, give you the opportunity to segue here whenever. I mean, I could probably talk to you for, you know, all night. We can break out beers in a few hours if you want.
No, shout out to everybody who uses Twetch. I mean, that's always a big one. Shout out to you, Kurt. We appreciate everything that you do.
Thanks,
I think that kind of like rhetoric and narrative is a very important part of what we're doing here and what we're trying to do, and to just grow faster. That's all we want, is we want faster growth over time.
Absolutely.
So everyone who uses Twetch, everyone who got an egg, look, you're in for some surprises in the future, so stay tuned. We are going to build the premium product. That's what we want. We want to have, our users are paying customers. They're not just users, they're customers. We talk to them every day. We care about them. We want them to have a great experience. We know that there's a lot that we can improve, and we are actively every single day, every hour of every day, working towards that goal.
Awesome. I don't know if there's anything that you could have said better, man. You are the chief meme officer. That's awesome. So, well, a big thanks from me. I mean, between me and you, you know, you're Randy on the internet, but I think of you as my friend Billy. So, you know, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I appreciate, you know, being able to DM and shoot the shit and parse out, hey, what the hell are any of us doing in this damn economy during the dark days too? So, and I appreciate you jumping on here. And frankly, tell Josh too, like, hey, thanks for bailing me out last week. So I appreciated that too.
I was having fun in that comment section.
Yeah, no, it was great. So we're having a good time. It's been great spending, 2+ years back when like everyone thought we were crazy, and now we're starting to gain some people saying
we're coming up on 3 years since inception of BSV.
It's sick. It's incredible. So thanks again, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna do some wrap up. I'll take a couple other random questions. Thanks again, brother. Talk soon. So, Alex, if we can queue up some other questions. Everybody else has, there's another opportunity. Go for the Simply Cash or the Relay X wallet. Get those Satoshis, everybody. Again, from our other, or one of our many, frankly, dear friends here at the CoinGeek weekly live stream, Mr. Satoshi there. I screwed the name up. We know I'm still human. If we got other good questions, if you want to ask anybody else, non-Twetch questions or some of the questions that happened before Billy popped on, you have any fundamental Bitcoin questions, we can talk about history, politics, anything else here. We got about 10 minutes before I'm going to wrap up in the soon. Take a little sip of water for myself. I don't know if I've got a sore, like my allergies or something came back. So that's what it is. Rob asking, who is the guest supposed to be last week? We advertised who the guest was supposed to be last week, everybody. We got stood up by one of the richest men in the world. And I'm going to let him know right now. We're going to buy Tesla someday. I'm going to own it. I'm going to build better cars. It's going to be great. So me and Alex, co-CEOs of Tesla, circa 2031. So yeah, we got that going on. Let's return. We have a question from Becky from 30 minutes ago. She's saying, can you walk us through the different token platforms available on BSV at the moment, and what is the difference between them? Where are you seeing the most activity and why? Also, NFTs, can you clear up some common misconceptions on NFTs and explain to us what's happening with them within the BSV ecosystem? Some examples, maybe. That's a really good, long question that deserves probably a whole episode, frankly, but I will give a very quick rundown. Let's talk a little bit about the history of tokens, first of all. So what is a token? A token is a thing which represents another thing. So I can give you an IOU, like a dollar. Dollars used to be redeemable for a certain weight of silver or gold or whatever the reserve asset was that the dollar was issued against. So that dollar is itself a token for silver until it was removed from the gold standard, causing all these people called cypherpunks to say we need digital sound money, frankly. So it also created the gold bugs. So we get the people like Peter Schiff, and then we get the people that are like David Chaum, who kind of created the two versions of like, hey, we need sound money back. So you have the physical guys, and you have the digital guys. Well, Bitcoin really is the combination of both of those things. But once you have a sound money, it allows you to then issue other assets that are pegged to that primary asset. So you can tokenize, let's just say, a digital dollar. So your digital dollar can be representative of a physical dollar that is sitting somewhere else. Or you could tokenize something like your home or your house, or you could sell shares. And shares is actually another thing that adds to the opportunity here. So a company and company stock, each of those individual pieces of stock, shares of stock, are tokenized company assets. So if you break a company into 10,000 shares, each one of those shares is one of 10,000 tokens. So you can do this with anything. So anything that can be made divisible can be made divisible using the public ledger. And that allows you to have a perfect chain of custody that goes from one person to the next. It's trackable. Who bought it? How much did they pay for it? What was the exact time that the transaction occurred? How much value was transferred? And all of those kind of things. So there's a big opportunity there with tokens conceptually. Okay. Now the question is how do we implement them? And right now we have like a dozen token protocols in BSV that make it that things are a little bit unclear what token protocol we're going to go with. So on Ethereum, they all agreed to the ERC20 protocol. So everybody that creates a token, if you create that token compatible with ERC20, then they can interact with each other on the same protocol. In BSV, let's just take two. We can take ELAS tokens, which are from the company ELAS Digital. Brendan Lee and some other guys there created that token standard, and it's super flexible, allows you to do all kinds of other things. But the people from Matterpool created the super asset protocol, also very flexible, also does all kinds of things. Then you have like, let's see, Clemens Lay a couple of years ago created the Bitcoin computer protocol. That was on Bitcoin Cash, made its way over to Bitcoin SV after the split. And then there's a bunch of other things. There's Run now, which is very popular. A lot of people really like the flexibility of Run, their jig technology, and then the fact that it's programmable in JavaScript. So there's a lot of reasons why one token protocol over another might get adopted. It could be simplicity of use, it could be simplicity of programming, or it can be simple interoperability. Now, I think the reason that the Run-based tokens have taken off is probably two things. The main one is the fact that almost everybody that works in development at all is at least capable of developing in JavaScript, and JavaScript is what Run tokens are based on. And at some point, basically the first guy who decided I'm going to use Run kind of set the standard that, okay, then we should use Run if we want to interact with the other guy using Run. So this is everyone from Brightview, for example, which, what were they called? True Reviews when they first started. That was Connor Murray's project. And Connor, he liked Run, started with Run. So did David Case from CryptoFights, said, I'm going to issue my assets using Run. So right there, you've got True Reviews and you've got CryptoFights. And then now RelayX has adopted Run protocol and a number of others. So now you have something like Shua Coin, which is really popular, and something like CryptoFights, which I think is going to be extremely popular. And then something like Brightview is going to continue to increase in popularity over time, all using the same token protocol. And that would imply that, if you believe in Gresham's law or Lindy effect or whatever else these people talk about, that anybody that wants to interoperate with the most valuable things is going to conform to the standard of the currently most valuable thing. And so if that's Run, then it's Run. However, Run is also limited. There are reasons why you would want to perhaps use other things. So that's some of the differences between some of these other platforms. Every one of them that I've looked at is actually very cool for their own reasons. There's STOS tokens. There's actually there's a bunch of proprietary ones too. So I'm not going to go down the list and give you the pluses and minuses because frankly a lot of that is a little heady. But that's where I'm seeing the most activity. There's the overview of that. Let's see can you clear up misconceptions about NFTs real quick? An NFT is a one of one. So a non-fungible token is something that is not like a dollar is always worth a dollar. You can interchange it for another dollar. There's no exchange rate. It's 1-to-1. Okay, so that's fungible. Hey, there's your last opportunity. Use your Simply Cash wallet. Get that money. It's probably already gone. We got snipers in the audience. But a non-fungible token, this would be like the difference between me, Kurt, and Alex Moon. We are different people. We are not fungible to one another. One Kurt does not equal one Alex, and one Alex does not equal one Kurt. We have similar attributes. We are both extremely handsome, intelligent, productive, hardworking males of the Western Hemisphere and similar genetics and whatever else. But we're not fungible. We're not the same person. We are very, very different in many ways too. So the fungibility of something is it interchangeable 1-to-1 with some other thing. So a non-fungible token would be like Alex, I agree with you for once. Thank you, Alex. So if it's non-fungible, this is like if you had a napkin that Kurt Cobain wrote some song lyrics on, like that's a one-of-a-kind thing that can't be duplicated. He's dead. He was a famous person because people loved his music and blah, blah, blah. There can only be one of those things. So that is itself a non-fungible thing. And if you were to create a digital facsimile of it and put it on the blockchain in order to resell it or even to just save it forever, that is a non-fungible token. What's happening with them in the BSV ecosystem? Well, a whole bunch of things. I think the Crypto Fights example is a really good one because I always picture this battle axe. Like I am going to win an incredible battle with a battle axe, and that battle axe will then have that information that I won, and that makes that battle axe mine. But it increases its provenance, and when its provenance is increased, then I can pass that axe. Maybe I sell that axe. Maybe I put that axe in my will to my son Ronan or my daughter coming in 2 or 3 weeks. And it goes on forever because of that. But there's a million other things. Technically, I mean, you can tokenize anything as a non-fungible asset. You can tokenize your car or your cat or your marriage license or whatever can be an NFT. Got Joel Delays, somebody who I have not seen comment on the live stream, but someone whose friendship I also appreciate greatly, as I've known him for many years now, saying, wait, what? You mean this Kurt NFT I have means I don't own you? It may confer some special rights, and I may buy them back so that the whole world doesn't think I owe them a giant favor. Any other questions, Alex? Let's fire some rapid fire ones if there are any. If we don't have a whole lot of questions, just let me know. I'll wrap this thing up. We're actually just over 1 hour right now, but I'm willing to go another 10 minutes for some good stuff. Tommy Sparks saying, Kurt, do you know of any BSV wallet providers that are working on a service to allow unlock time transactions, or are we waiting for some extra plumbing to be initiated? I do not know any commercially available wallet providers. However, I would expect something like that to be offered more deliberately as a service. So for something like that, what would an unlock time thing be? That would be like, distributing proceeds of a trust or a will or something after a certain amount of time. That makes sense. That sounds like something that you might want to enter like a multi-sig contract with, where somebody creates rules that make all these things like if this, then that, and they occur. And that doesn't really make sense for like a commercial wallet. I think that makes sense to be like a proprietary wallet and then offered by a company that provides a service. So I would guess that things like that would come a little bit in the future, but the tech is there. Somebody's got to build the business model, which is why I always say, be the biz dev guy. You can create these great ideas. Zatoshi saying next week, oh boy, I will give 1 BSV on Kurt's weekly live stream. You heard it here first. So be ready, everybody. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you get those notifications so you know when you go live, and you can get 1 whole free BSV on next week's episode. Rick Howard saying, Kurt, who do you pick to win March Madness? I am not a team sports guy. I'm sorry, Rick. I only really watch mixed martial arts, and even then, I don't watch a whole lot anymore. I used to be a big fan, but team sports just don't do it for me. So I apologize. KP Dad, user 450. Got any soon info? What do I have that's soon? I knew about MitoCash that just debuted today. But you can go check them out at MitoCash. You can hand out money to your friends. When they click the link, it lets them download the hand cash wallet and gives them whatever money you decided to send their way. So that's a pretty cool thing. I have heard a little birdie just told me, a birdie named Alex Moon, that there's some Gorilla DAO information coming out in the soon. In fact, I heard from the Great Ape that later this week there might be a thing. So it would be cool to see what the DAO is up to. I am a DAO member, always very excited. Zatoshi asking, here's a personal question for Kurt. Thank you. Zatoshi, Kurt, how has it been being the CoinGeek historian so far? I have never, as a rule, worked well with a hierarchy above me. I've been self-employed for almost my entire life. And I can tell you right now that the moment that I don't like CoinGeek, I will quit. I will leave as soon as I hate this company. However, I really like it here. They've given me a whole lot of room to breathe. The people that I work with are excellent. In fact, they allowed me to come on as this new role, this chief historian role, to tell the story of Bitcoin. I don't know that anybody else would allow me the breathing room and the space that I have to do research and to work with the people behind the scenes. Some people whose names you would be shocked to hear I'm working with on information, and it's incredible. I really, really love it here. I love what I do. And I love being the Bitcoin historian for CoinGeek. So I'm very grateful to just give a shout out to Tom, whose name I don't know if he wants said it out on the air. But Tom, who I work with, the guy who I directly report to, is a hell of a boss. And so's Calvin. I really like working with Calvin and the other people that I get to work with too. It's been wonderful. So thanks for asking, Z, my friend. Anything else, Alex? What do we got coming up? Joshua Arroyo. Kurt, have you ever considered being a guest on these crypto market gurus to explain BSV to their audience? I would love to do that. If you have connections, by all means. So I have a lot of people, and I'm really grateful for the people that tag me on Twitter, like, hey, have Kurt on, because there's always people asking for a Bitcoin expert. Keep doing that, because we're starting to penetrate. I was on Stefan Molyneux's show and some other people last week. And I continue to be on increasingly diverse shows that where I get to be the Bitcoin guy. So we frankly just need more inroads. We have our internal people that try to book me on shows, but really, people don't want to have somebody on unless there's like a bunch of stuff bubbling up from them, like, hey, this guy's worth talking to. So I really kind of need you to go out there and let these other famous people know. I think we've got like 100,000 or 200,000 Shua coin grand prize out there for anybody that can get me on Lex Friedman's show. But yeah, I'll frankly go on anybody's show. It really doesn't inconvenience me. I love to do it. So if you can get me on your favorite podcast or whatever, that's awesome. I'll give you a shout out when you give me the opportunity. DSB28, Kurt, is there anything close to a book on objective history of Bitcoin? I would read that. I don't know that there is right now. So there's things being worked on. I can tell you right now that there's a documentary being worked on that's going to tell some of the history stuff that hasn't been told. I'm working on it, in the periphery, but I don't know the release date. I may write something myself at some point. So I guess stay tuned for that. Maybe you can read the history of Bitcoin from the perspective of this bald guy. Satoshi, let's keep Kurt here for another hour. I'll do it, man. Keep the questions coming. And frankly, we don't know when I'm going to take my break. So, in theory, this could be the last show you see me for a couple of weeks. I do have a baby daughter coming very soon, and she deserves a little shout out. I will tell you her name as soon as she's born. We're very excited to debut her to the world. It's going to be a good thing. So I should probably wrap up. Don, let's see. One more I got. Hi, Kurt. When are you going to get Peter Schiff on the show? He seems to change his mind about Bitcoin lately. I'd love to. Go get him. Go attack Peter, everybody. If you want Peter Schiff to be on my show, or if you want me to be on Peter Schiff's show, let him know. I would love to do it. I'm very, very, very keen to talk to other intelligent people about why Bitcoin matters. So I'm going to give a shout out as I close down. I'm going to say thank you to my lovely wife, Natalie, for being my partner in everything and allowing me to have this ridiculous schedule that I maintain for CoinGeek and other things. My son, Ronan Atlas Wuckert the first, and then my daughter, whose name I will debut soon. And really, thank you to all of you. This show wouldn't exist without you. I really appreciate the comments that come in here. These AMAs would not happen if people weren't curious about Bitcoin. And so you give me employment by by enjoying and asking these questions. So thanks to you, everybody. Thanks to Alex Moon. We're trying to keep him out of prison. He's got to meet with his parole officer right after we get off the air to make sure he's been, maintaining his, the stuff that he does. So join us again soon, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays. I think I said Tuesday before. It doesn't really matter. But until next time, I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. saying peace out, be good to each other, have fun, live long and prosper. Happy spring, everybody. Bye-bye.
This is buybsv.com, the quick and simple way to buy Bitcoin SV. You can't miss it. It says a quick and simple way to buy BSV on buybsv.com. It's safe and secure. Within an hour, you'll own BSV digital assets, which means it's so quick and simple. So if you want to buy BSV, use buybsv.com. It does exactly what it says.